As Marvel continues to expand its conquest of the box office, people are getting pumped for Infinity War, the long-gestating storyline about Thanos and his gaudy piece of bling. I'm sure it will be just as awesome as Civil War, but a big purple boss collecting magic gems in order to max out his power glove is a bit too video gamey for me. I'm way more excited for Thor Ragnarok, and I think you should be too. In fact, I think we might be in for one of the greatest Marvel movies ever, and here's why. Its shorter modern-day blockbusters, especially Marvel's, have a tendency to drag on, expanding the runtime with scene after scene of blurry CGI battles completely devoid of dramatic tension. Unless you have a mammoth, Lord of the Rings-style storyline to squeeze in, there's no excuse for straining your audience's bladders like that. So it comes as a relief to hear that the current cut of Thor Ragnarok runs at a trim 100 minutes, which would make it the shortest film of the MCU to date. Infinity War, on the other hand, is reportedly looking to be at least 150 minutes, most likely more. Explaining Ragnarok's short runtime in an interview with Collider, director Taika Waititi stated, "I think that stories are better when you leave them wanting more, and this film moves at a clip. It's got stuff happening all the time. I think people are still gonna feel exhausted by the end, they've been on this big journey and stuff, so I don't think we need the film to be 3 hours." Thank you Mr. Waititi, you actually get it. Packing the film with extra bells and whistles doesn't make it better, it just bloats the story. Lean and clean is the way to go. Cutting away excess flab also ensures that those who are interested in deleted scenes will have plenty of great material to rummage through. A lot of it was improvised. Waititi also claimed that around 80% of Ragnarok is improvised. This is nothing short of extraordinary for a special effects-laden, high-concept blockbuster churned out of the Marvel factory. Stories about Kevin Feige make him sound like a merciless micromanager. I've never quite forgiven him for crushing Edgar Wright's Ant-Man beneath his boot. But Taika Waititi is known for indie films that have a free-flowing style. It's wonderfully reassuring to hear that he's carrying on that technique and ensuring that the actors are having fun, as well as tweaking the dialogue to actually sound natural. This relaxed approach to filmmaking is sure to come across on screen, and emphasize the buddy comedy aspect of Ragnarok. The Marvel Universe is embracing the insanity of the comics so far. Marvel has played it pretty safe when it comes to adapting the storylines of their comics, and who can blame them? The comics are a convoluted tangle of multiple timelines, parallel universes and a never-ending cycle of switching alliances and betrayal. But they are free to tell some pretty wild stories, and now that the weirder aspects of the Marvel Universe have been steadily drip-fed to the public, like Doctor Strange's LSD magic and the existence of the Vision, Marvel is free to fully embrace the insanity of those original stories. On the face of it, a story about the Norse god of thunder traveling to an alien planet and fighting the Incredible Hulk in a Roman-style Colosseum sounds like a parody of a bad piece of fan fiction. More like an episode of Futurama than the down-to-earth adventures of Captain America and co. And it's great. If we're going to mix science fiction and Norse mythology, it might as well be fun. Thor's sugary, saturated world has always worked best when the stories don't take themselves too seriously. Thor: The Dark World tried to make Thor's world a bit more mature. You can tell, because the word dark is in the title. Pretty edgy stuff. But the Dark World's scowling, evil elf villain in multiple shades of black, was terribly boring. You simply cannot give Thor a gritty reboot, nor the Incredible Hulk. Look what happened when Ang Lee injected him with Oxt. We got a scene where a poodle hulks out and it wasn't even supposed to be funny. No more Jane Foster. Thor's relationship with Jane Foster was cute when he was still doing that fish out of water thing, but it no longer fits his character arc. These days, Thor is soaring around the galaxy with the Hulk, in a spaceship. He's living life like he's on the cover of a heavy metal album. He doesn't need some boring earthling killing his buzz. Jane was Thor's introduction into the human world. I'm sure he had plenty to learn from her initially, but after he got used to the new realm, what on earth did they talk about? He's a literal god who's existed for thousands of years. She's been around for like 30. She doesn't have a part to play other than a damsel in distress, and that's not even slightly interesting. Hence, we're getting a badass new love interest, Valkyrie, a fellow Asgardian who Thor can actually relate to and fight alongside. It seems to be difficult to keep a girlfriend if you're an Avenger, but as a supernatural killing machine, Valkyrie will surely stick around. She's certainly far more qualified than Hawkeye, anyway. So that's it. Only time will tell which film actually turns out to be superior, but I've got a strong feeling that all those characters will stifle Infinity War storyline. The X-Men franchise never really managed to juggle an insane number of superheroes, and they had years of practice. In the meantime, let's rewatch the Ragnarok trailer and go back to counting the days until release.